If you've ever found yourself in a rut, our next speaker has a solution for you. He started his career in a foxhole as a Marine Corps officer. After serving as one of the proud, he completed degrees in police science, criminal justice, and law, and became Ohio's only sheriff with education and experience as an attorney. He leads a county organization of almost 200 people with an annual budget of over $17 million. A very long way from that foxhole. In his spare time, he teaches criminal justice and law enforcement. He serves on the Ohio Criminal Sentencing Commission and the Ohio Death Penalty Task Force. Our next speaker is the poster child for vision, ambition, and determination. Please help me welcome Clermont County Sheriff Tim Rodenberg with his speech, Leadership by Example.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Couple quick corrections. The only foxhole I was ever in was in San Diego. In Quantico, Virginia. I was in the Marines during the Vietnam era, but the war ended before I could get over there. At the time, I was very disappointed about that, but as I've aged, I count my blessings. I probably didn't have to go over there and participate in that unfortunate tragedy. But in any event, I'm here today to talk about my philosophy of leadership, something I brought to the sheriff's office when I entered that about 17 plus years ago. And that came from the Marine Corps. My Marine experience was probably the most significant thing in my life that prepared me for what I'm doing today. I don't believe there's any question about that. I was a little bit shy, reserved, lacked self-confidence, not really sure of myself. And I went into the Marine Corps against the advice of a number of people. They all thought I was crazy, but in any event, and that's persisted, by the way, to this point in time. But I did so. And I went into officer training, graduated from that, flew jets for a while, landed on an aircraft carrier, then decided I wanted to go back to the infantry, and I did end up in the infantry, and I did that for probably about 3 years. I was in my early 20s, and I had 250 young Marines to take care of. I was a company commander. That's pretty young to have that many people who you're responsible for, quite frankly, their very life. But in the Marine Corps, there is a philosophy that, of leadership that permeates the whole organization, and that's leadership by example. Leadership by example, very simply put, is you set the standard, and then everyone should, if it's working, and you're persuasive enough, will follow in behind. You set the example, you expect yourself to follow, and others. You don't have dual sets of standards. You don't set a standard for yourself that might be down here and one for your subordinates or your co-workers or whatever that are up here. You set the example in everything. Your appearance, your behavior, on and off duty, and I'm a very much a advocate of that. I truly believe that your performance as a leader does not just go 9 to 5 when you're on the job. It has to be your whole life. It has to consume you because you're in the position of the community that you're going to be in the spotlight and people watch you. So you have to set the example. What does that mean? Well, you do everything that you would expect your subordinates to. Nothing more, nothing less. You behave yourself in the way you expect your subordinates to. Nothing more, nothing less. I know in some organizations there's different rules for the various, I guess you might say, ranks. We don't have that in the sheriff's office. Oh, there might be privileges with rank. I don't mean that. But as far as standards of behavior, we expect the same across the board. And when I came into the office back in 1997, I made that very clear. I told my staff, I said, if you see me out on the weekend in a bar, on the table with a lampshade on my head, grabbing all the ladies and kissing them while my wife and kids are at home, you can do that. Or if you see me out with a gal on my arm that's not my wife, you can do that. But if you don't see me doing that, I don't expect any of you to do that. And there were a few other things I talked to him about. And I said, we're not going to tolerate that, because we have something in our occupation that no other occupation in society has. We have the right to take liberty and to legally take life under certain circumstances. And when you think of that, that's an awesome responsibility. And I say we have to set a high example. Not just me as a leader, but us as leaders of the community, the whole organization, so that people can rely on us when they pick up the phone and dial 911 and one of us responds. They know what they're getting. They don't have a bigger problem with our response than they did before they called us. So I expect professional performance. I expect this agency, the Clermont County Sheriff's Office, to set the standard in law enforcement, the benchmark for other agencies around us. Now, there's something else I learned too, that as a sheriff, that I felt was very important. When I first became sheriff, I didn't have to be a peace officer. I did not have to go to the academy. Ohio law did not require that. But I felt that was very important for me to do that because I came from the legal community. I did not work my way up through the ranks of a police department or the sheriff's office. And I thought, if my troops are going to see me and respect me and follow me, I have to have the same training and the same background and at least the same education and the skills that they do. I never can catch up with them in making arrests, writing tickets. Most of them have done more than that, and probably in 1 week than I've done in my whole career. I don't write tickets for various reasons, but in any event, I felt it was important for me to at least learn the job. The other thing I think is important with leadership by example is everything your unit does, you are responsible for. Everything your agency does, you're responsible for. If they fail to do it, you're responsible for it. However, if there's credit to be given, the credit goes to the troops. I tell people more often than once, I am the least most important person in this organization. The troops are the most important people in the organization. Certainly I point the direction, I tell them what direction we want to go, where we should end up, but if good things happen, I give them credit. And when people tell me, you're doing a great job, Sheriff, boy, you're a great sheriff, I say, no, I'm not a great sheriff. I might be a good sheriff, I might point people in the right direction, but it's not me. It's the grunts and the troops that get us there. Hopefully that's been some help to you. I enjoy my work. It's a tremendous job. I enjoy serving the public and the people I've worked with. And again, thank you for having me here today, and I too may return at some future date. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.